All right, what you guys need to do is you need to have your textbook open to page 526 and 527. You will see at the top of the page we have our moon phases here, and you're going to use these today in class. What I want you to do now is I want you to get out your science notebook, and I want you to open to page 67, and I want you to find your moon phase cards that we created yesterday in class. I'll pause while you do that. Okay, you should have your moon phase cards now, and I have borrowed Stephanie's cards. She's so kind to let me do that. And what you're going to do next is you're going to take the card that you created, you're going to look at it, and then you're going to look at the back and see what it says. And this one is an extra one, it doesn't say anything. You're going to find one that actually says something. So this one is solid black, and on the back it says new moon. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put the card with the one that matches in the book, and we're going to make sure that they look exactly the same, and they do. So we can move that one aside. We know it's correct. Then we're going to find our next card. Her next one looks like this. Flip it over. On the back it says waxing crescent. So now we find in the book where it says waxing crescent. We check to make sure that our card looks like the one in the book. The white is a sliver, black is on that side, so we know that we did it correctly. You're going to continue doing this for all of your cards until you have checked all of them. And the reason that I want you to check all of them is because you're going to use these flashcards to study your moon phases, and the last thing you want to do is study the wrong thing. It's very easy to make a mistake when you're making these cards, and you certainly don't want to be studying the wrong thing. So you're going to check all your cards, and once you have checked them all, then you can just leave them laying out on your book and make sure that you have all of them and that they're all correct. If they're not correct, then you need to fix them. All right. And we'll need to pause the video right here, give you guys a few minutes to check your cards and correct them if they are wrong. All right, at this point you should have all of your cards checked and corrected if they were incorrect. And now your substitute teacher is going to give you a paper that looks like this. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you how to complete this piece of paper. In this piece of paper, when you are completing it, following instructions is extremely important, so please don't try to work ahead and think that you can just figure out the answers. I have no doubt that you may be able to, but I would love to be able to explain to you the proper way to do the worksheet. So the first thing that we'll do is take a look at our standard, which is here on the wall, and I don't know if you can read it or not, but standard S6E2A. It says that you guys should be able to demonstrate the phases of the moon by showing the alignment of the earth, the moon, and the sun. We've already talked about the moon phases, and we know what they look like now. That's what we did with our flashcards. And now what you guys are going to do is you're going to be able to look at the sun, the earth, and the moon and be able to determine a moon phase based on just what the diagram looks like. So you can see the directions in the top right hand corner. It says you're supposed to write the name of each moon phase in the box. And then down at the bottom are instructions on how to actually use this chart. So I'm going to walk you through those. And to do this, we're going to pick a number. You notice the boxes are numbered around. And we are going to start with number 6. So what I want you to do is take a look at moon number 6. And if you just looked at that moon and you tried to figure out what moon phase that is, just glancing at it, you might think that that is a first quarter moon, because when we have a first quarter, it's white on the side where first space is at. And if you did that and you wrote that in that box, you would be wrong, because the way that you have to read this chart is that you have to turn your paper so that the moon that you are interested in is facing away from you. Because from Earth, this is Earth, from Earth, the only part of the moon that we can see is the part that is here. So If you're on Earth, you can only see that part of the moon. So basically what you need to do is you need to focus on what's inside this dotted line. So anything outside the dotted line, you can actually just scribble it out and forget about it because it doesn't matter. On Earth, we can't see that. That's the side of the moon that we never see. So what we do now is we look at our moon that we have on the inside of the circle, and we just determine how much of it is white. And from this picture right here, you can see that half of the moon is white and half of it is black. If you know your moon phases by heart, then you can see that this would be a third quarter moon. If you don't know your moon phases by heart, then what you're going to do is you're going to use page 526 and 527, and you're going to find a moon that is half white on the left. And so you would go here to page 527, 526, and you're looking for a moon that is half white on the left. This one is half white, but it's white on the right. We're looking for half white on the left. And there it is, and it's third quarter. So what you'll do is you will go for number 6 here. Now you can turn your paper back around the right way. And on number 6, you will write third quarter. And I don't know why this thing won't focus, but just go with it. Okay, now let's look at another moon. Let's do a couple more together. All right, the next one we're going to look at is moon number 3. Okay, moon number 3 is right here. So in order to do this moon, remember we always turn our paper so that the moon that we're interested in is facing away from us. So you're going to turn your paper kind of catty-cornered so that moon number 3 is facing away from you. And remember that when we are looking at the moon from Earth, the only part of the moon that we can see is the part that is here, inside the circle, inside this dotted line. So go ahead and connect the dots through the moon like that, and you can scribble out anything that is outside of the circle because we can't see that anyways, and we don't care about it. It's just confusing. So once we get rid of that, now you can see that a large portion of this moon is white, and the white part is on the right side, and a tiny part of the moon is black on the left. So you just have to remember, when the moon is white on the right, is that waxing or waning? Remember what we did with our hand motions. We did wax on, wane off, like Karate Kid. So we wax on with our right hand, and we wane off with our left hand. So wax on with the right, wane off with the left. The white part is on the right, so that means that this is a waxing moon. All right, now we need to figure out about the shape. If the moon is more than half, but it's not completely a full moon, then that lets us know that it is a gibbous. If it's less than half, then it would have to be a crescent. So this moon right here would be called a gibbous moon. So, and we know it's waxing because the white part's on the right. So you can go ahead and write in for number 3, waxing gibbous. Okay, let's do one more together, and then I'll let you guys see if you can do the rest by yourself. All right, let's look at moon number 7 down at the bottom. Remember what we have to do first when we want to look at moon 7. We should always make our moon face where? Away from us. That's right. Okay, so turn your moon so it's away from you. So your paper's kind of catty-cornered upside down. And you know that we are on Earth. The only part of the moon that we can see is the part that is facing the Earth. So we can't see anything outside this dotted line. So go ahead and scribble that out. We don't care about that. It's just confusing. And now that you have that done, you can look at this moon and you can see that the vast majority of it is black. There's a tiny little part that's white. When we have a tiny part that's white, is that going to be a crescent or a half or a gibbous? That's what you have to ask yourself. And hopefully you say it's going to be a crescent because it's tiny. And then you just have to figure out if it's waxing or waning. If the white part is on the right, then it's waxing. Remember, we wax on like Karate Kid and we wane off. So this is going to be waning since it's on the left. So on your paper, you're going to write waning crescent. Okay, so that's how you're going to complete this worksheet. And if you have questions, then raise your hand and hopefully someone can help you. All right, you want to pause the video and give everyone time to complete this worksheet, and then we'll check the answers. All right, so now we're going to check the answers on these. You guys should have them complete, and let's go ahead and see how you did on it. So we'll start here with number 1. It's going to be a while. Okay.